Old Man here, and the largest project I will be working on in this house is through the door behind me and behind this wall, and that is the bonus room. That project is coming right up. This is the start of my crown achievement for this house up to this point. And that is the completion and remodeling of this bonus room that you are looking at right now. This, as I stated in the opening, is going to be the largest project I have worked on this house because of the space that is being worked on, plus one of the bedrooms that is on the other side of the door that you see in the background that is also going to be part of this project. So what we have here is a bonus room above the garage. It is 325 square feet, and we are going to make this into a livable bonus room with a closet and walls and insulation and all sorts of stuff going on here. So that's what's going to be going on here. Now, in the meantime, I had spent weeks and months putting an Excel sheet together of all my materials that I was going to need to get this project done. And of course, you have to take away stuff, add stuff, but the bulk of what you see here in this room is what we're going to be using to finish out this project. Obviously, the insulation that you see there is quite extensive. And then we've got 2x6s, 2x4s, drywall that's going to be put into place, all the decking screws and the nails and just everything that is going to be needed to finish this project out. We're even putting HVAC in. If you can look in the back there, we're going to be tying into the existing HVAC unit. So there's a lot going on here, and I'm going to do my best here over the next 84 videos to give you the entire project in its entirety, and hopefully you'll get some value out of it. So without further ado, let's get this started. Here's a little humorous pic of number 1 sitting in the back of my F-150 with a ton of insulation in it. And the reason why there's so much insulation in the back seat is because the bed of the truck was full of insulation. I think we needed like, 15 rolls or something like that of insulation is what I calculated. And we took one trip over to the big box store to pick this up and found out immediately that we didn't have enough space in the bed of the truck, and number 1 here was with us. And so we stuffed the back seat with insulation, and she's got maybe a foot and a half of space to sit there. And we just thought it was a really funny photo of her sitting in the back, and you'll see her buried in this insulation as we continue to get this into place. Here's another pic of the boss. You can't see her smiling, but she is laughing her arse off, looking back into the back seat, and you can't even see number 1 there. However, you can see her hand holding her iPhone in the background there, just underneath the seatbelt, and that's all you could see of her in the back as we continue to travel back home. Fortunately, it was only like a 15-minute ride back home, but it was just a nice way to end the night and get a good laugh out of it. The next recording you're going to see here is me just starting off day number 1 on the bonus room project and me describing the door to Narnia. There's a real quick explanation on that, and I think I'm going to go into a little more detail on a future video. However, the high-level view is that in order to get into the bonus room, you have to go through bedroom number 2 into the closet, which is a large closet, and then there's a door, which is that door that you're going to see in that video, that comes into the bonus room. So we like to call that the door to Narnia, because if you're familiar with the lion, the closet, and the door, something like to that effect, that story, and the books, of course, and the movies, The door to Narnia is through a closet, so we gave it the nickname the door to Narnia. All right, it's day number 1 of project number 6, the bonus room with that infamous door to Narnia. Remember that? Here's what we've got. We've got a bunch of materials and equipment ready to start this bonus room project. And we have some prep work that we have to do before we even get started on that. So if you've ever done any type of renovation work or had any renovation work done, or even new construction, you know there's a lot of prep work that has to go into place before you even get to your final project. This bonus room is no exception. So the first thing I need to do, though, is get this floor done. So if you remember correctly, I'm going to put a wall up here with a door that swings open so we can get access to this AC unit. However, we don't want people walking in between here and falling through the ceiling. So I'm going to take some plywood that the previous owner left and fill this in, put a floor in, and then you can see here we've got some loose fill insulation all over the place with a makeshift ladder going up to the top here. I'm going to take some of those out and put some more plywood in there so we have a little easier stability going up to that area. And here's the plywood that was left over, so I should have enough to get a lot of that done. And then once we get that completed, the next thing in line here is this wall here, this back wall. We're going to put insulation going up 9 feet to start that wall. We're going to do that one first because there's not a lot of work going into that wall other than drywall and a couple of other fill-in items. So we can get the insulation there first. And then we're going to start with these, which are the ceiling joists. And they're going to come across here and get that completed. So the goal today is just to get the floor done, the back wall with insulation, and a few of these joists. Not looking to get them all done today, but just a few of those. So that's what we're looking forward to. So with that, enjoy, and we'll talk to you next time. If you remember my last video, we had this area over here that was all open and loose insulation throughout going up to the top there. So what I did is I took all that spare plywood I had and I covered all that up through here, even the flooring here. So now we have a nice clean area. I can actually go up these makeshift stairs that I made all the way to the top if I need to get access to there. And looks pretty good. Also put a little piece of plywood up there that above the different looking plywood just to fill that piece in. And then per my last video, we also got all the insulation in over here, as you can see here. And I've got a couple of ceiling joists that are now beginning to take shape. And the room is now starting to look like a construction site, which is a good thing. So now Professor Rob's going to give you a little bit of an education about insulation. So here we go. Check it out. If you look closely, I've got R19 insulation in these walls. Well, R19 insulation is actually for 2x6 walls. Unfortunately, these are 2x4 walls, so the insulation is actually thicker. And just to give you an idea what that looks like, the insulation here you can see is rolled up tight here. And you can see is how it's compressed, even compressed here, a little bit sticking out. What it's supposed to end up like is, when it's fully out, is it gets fluffy like this, see? So why do I have R19 insulation in 2x4 walls when it's supposed to be for 2x6? Quite simple. I forgot to buy it. When I was buying all the insulation for the rafters here, I bought all R19 value, except for I forgot about this one. So I was too lazy to go back to the store and buy R11 insulation. The R meaning resistance to thermal heat coming through. But I'm not too worried about it. It's going to be a little compressed when I put the sheetrock on. That'll be fine. I'll still get a lot of R value out of it. Might lose a little bit, but nothing major. But we'll continue that way. So here we go. Continuing on with these roof joists. And we're going to come all the way down here. And then we'll start making sure that we get some drywall up eventually. And then also, we're going to start putting in insulation in here, going all the way down to the eaves over here. And that's what these baffles are for. So in my next video, once I get to these baffles here, I'll explain what these do and why you should have that if you ever do any type of renovation or construction work in your attic or anything like that. And we'll go from there. So until then, enjoy and peace out.